Hai, welcome to Kremés podcast.
Podcast yang paling receh and garing, but maybe informative too, depending on the day.
I'm T.
And I'm A.
Semoga podcast ini bisa nemenin lo.
And hope you enjoy the episode. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Kremés episode. I think this episode is a bit of an update of our previous conversation about COVID-19. So yeah, me and T has been talking a lot about it because of the whole thing that happens. The things has been changing really, really quickly, even in Australia. The border situations and stuff like that. You literally just open the news and it changes every minute. It's like you can see 25 minutes ago or 45 minutes ago. That's how quickly it have changed. But also at the same time, we notice from Line Today and even just online about the situation also in Indo, about the PSBB coming back again, about the new policy with all my friends are trying to go back to Indonesia as well. And even more about the vaccine that already entered Indonesia, with our president being the first person to be jabbed and stuff like that. So we thought that we would record this conversation, I guess, and we'll see if maybe this could be help for you guys to understand the situation now in Australia, if you want to visit Australia or if you are meant to study in Australia this year and, wondering what the border situation is and how is the condition here, what is the case that we have here, or even our listeners in Australia that want to go back to Indo for good, or just if you guys wondering if you can see your family yet and stuff like that. So we thought that we have this conversation on record, but also at the same time, I think we would like our podcast to also be some type of time capsule for us as well. And it is crazy, like this pandemic we never thought would happen in our lifetime in a sense, and we just want to keep it updated with our conversation, and also just discuss about it because me and T has been hearing a lot of news, and all we have done is just messenger each other and be like, have you heard about this, have you heard about that, you know what I mean? So so I think we probably the easiest is to talk about the borders in Australia. AT.
Yeah, I think also before we kayak lanjut lah, quick disclaimer, kita rekam episode ini tanggal 15 Januari, yaitu Jumat, but it's only gonna come out probably next week, so the 20th. And literally like between now and then anything could change.
That's true.
As far as I know, when checking the news like briefly this morning dan juga banyak lagi yesterday, I don't believe there's been any new cases in Australia, which is good. It's a pretty good sign. It was, I think,
Australia or Perth?
In Australia in general. Yeah, I think it was like about 8 it was like an 8 active case or something so far. 8 new cases, 8 recorded new cases in Australia, I think a couple of days ago. But especially like in the hotspot states like Victoria, Queensland, that kind of thing, has been no new cases, so that's been pretty good. I think overall, setahu gua, Queensland had a greater Brisbane lockdown, I think, in effect a couple of days ago, but they've lifted that now. However, there is still some restrictions, of course, in place for like greater Brisbane area, I think until like probably next week. So people, obviously traveling to and fro from Brisbane, be mindful that there's going to be a whole bunch of travel restrictions there. Victoria, I think, now has like a travel permit system where people who wishing to travel to Victoria need to apply for a special permit license, that kind of thing. But also other states surely will have their own permits. I do remember literally like a couple of weeks ago, the border was open, like even the border in WA was open for people to come in and out, and then shortly after that, Sydney recorded new cases in the Northern Beaches cluster, and WA udah langsung shut borders. So I don't know what the situation is now. There's still a whole bunch of stuff going on in New South Wales too. So I think it's just to keep our ears open, I guess, and obviously, the point of it is, kalau if it's not 100% necessary that you travel, it's best that you stay put.
Yeah.
It's been so uncertain, especially for work as well. Like yesterday, I was literally in a meeting where we can't lock in a date for a big meeting because it's dependent on whether if it's a digital event or if we can fly people over here from Brisbane. So it's just been pretty interesting. Yeah.
Nggak buat yang mungkin kurang familiar dengan apa yang sama yang terjadi di Australia. Jadi you get grateful and bersyukur kalau misalnya government kita itu quite strong ya, especially di WA ya, Western Australia, karena mereka benar-benar dari awal kita mulai we has been on like border close. Kita technically nggak lockdown, especially in Perth, tapi border kita beneran close even between provinsi. Jadi kayak dari New South Wales, which is where Sydney is, nggak bisa masuk juga ke WA dari Sydney, yang walaupun cuman kayak you can drive from Sydney to Melbourne, itu juga mereka nggak boleh interchangeable kind of situation. Sampai akhirnya there are stage where the eastern state opening it up for each other. Jadi kan Western Australia kan of course di barat ya, jadi ada yang di timur tuh ada Melbourne, Sydney, Queensland, Brisbane, gitu-gitu, kota-kota yang kalian biasa dengar itu biasa di timur. Dan itu tuh mereka start opening to each other, but unfortunately there are cases rising up here and there because of it. Jadi mereka sempat lockdown, Sydney sempat lockdown, I think. Melbourne juga sempat lockdown. Melbourne lockdown 2 kali kalau nggak salah. Jadi situasinya benar-benar kalau di Australia itu literally sekali ada news that there is community transfer atau ada new cases, mereka langsung cut. Mereka langsung go back and block the borders or go straight to lockdown, which I think was really, really good, and I genuinely feel safe with the current situation. Satu sisi ya emang kita pengen banget liburan dan kita pengen banget pengen kesini kesana, tapi menurut gue there's so much more things to do di provinsi kita sendiri aja. So why do we wanna risk ourselves or the people around us by traveling gitu? Dan yang gue dengar sih ya, unfortunately there's the new COVID dari UK. It has come into Australia in Brisbane, and I think that's why everyone that masuk WA dari Brisbane tanggal 2 Januari have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And one of my friend is in the quarantine right now, but I think she's tested negative. Jadi kalau misalnya di sini, kalau kalian di quarantine, kalian harus tes swab 2 hari.
You get day 2 and day 12.
Day 2 and day 12. Karena kalian 2 weeks ya, 14 days kan quarantine. Jadi kalian harus tes 2 dan 14. Apa do you have to pay for it or do they pay for it?
You pay for it now.
Oh, you pay for it. Yeah.
Well, you I don't know about the swab per se, but you pay for the hotel quarantine, which I don't know if the swab is actually included.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think it's day 2 sama day 12 karena kan virusnya kan incubate within like 5 days, like you only start seeing symptoms within 5 days. So I think they give you ample time to be like, okay, did you catch anything during your flight or during your travel over, and did you catch anything like post gitu.
I see. Tapi on another news, kalau di Australia itu kita sekarang udah mulai ada app. Hampir setiap state I think have their own personal app. So for us in Western Australia we have Safe WA. Jadi setiap kali kalian masuk ke restoran manapun, kalian masuk ke tempat manapun,
anything indoors, I think.
Anything indoors, you have to scan the app. Scan kayak QR code gitu, itu untuk nge-track kalian ada di mana. Dan itu ya emang mungkin buat some of us mikir kayak gila government tahu kita di mana segala macam gitu. Tapi at the same time I think it has been really, really helpful, karena the moment someone have something, mereka langsung tahu berapa orang yang udah kena atau siapa yang ada di sekitar mereka selama periode berapa jam atau berapa hari that they might have it kind of situation. I think maybe to summarize, at the moment kita rata-rata very low risk atau medium risk, which is Australian Capital Territory, Northern Territory, South Australia, and Tasmania is on a very low risk. And I think WA just counted as okay. I don't know. I guess we counted as no risk. And then New South Wales, Queensland, and Victoria is on medium risk. Jadi at the same time, we will try to LinkedIn all the website that we usually get this information from. Kalian bisa cek link tree kita, link in bio, untuk kayak link-linknya tersendiri. Dan ini tuh literally it got updated every day. Karena even kalau misalnya gue scroll down, it says page reviewed 15 January 2021, and that's today, like 15 January 2021.
Yeah.
So they're really good with that. They will always always update it just on the date.
So what's the situation like in Indo? Do you know,
I think in Indo, so ini gue dapet dari reference sendiri sih, dan juga dari teman-teman gue yang balik ke Indo ya. Jadi at the moment, kalau misalnya gue baca, Indonesia policy is they are denial entry for visitors and travelers. Jadi kalian kalau yang mau berlibur atau yang cuma mau visit Indonesia, kalian udah nggak bisa, especially from the people from China, Iran, Italy, Vatican, Spain, France, Germany, Switzerland, UK, and Daegu City. That's South Korea. Jadi kayak mungkin maybe that's
hotspot.
Yeah, hotspot.
Gitu ya.
Yeah. So
jadi even like istilahnya kalau gue, karena gue kan I'm Australian, right? So I don't have an Indonesian citizenship. But I have like relatives in Indo, right? So even that means I can't go.
Iya, nah, I don't think we can go. Jadi kayak kemarin teman gue juga sempat panik karena dia kan bukan warga negara Indonesia, tapi so she thought she can't go back for good. Tapi ternyata bisa balik karena dia punya permanent residence-nya Indonesia. Jadi permanent residence.
Okay.
Ya, jadi kalau misalnya di Indo ada namanya kitas sama kitab. KITAS and KIPAP.
Ya.
Gue nggak tahu kepanjangannya per se, tapi itu kayak PR-nya Australia deh kayaknya. Jadi, tapi even then, you have to have all the complete documents, health certificate, and recommendation letter that you are safe to go in.
Yeah.
And this was, I think they need you to do like your swab have to be within 48 hours of jadi 2 kali 24 jam dari penerbangan tersendiri. Jadi kayak kalian nggak bisa swab minggu ini terus perginya minggu depan tuh nggak bisa, harus kayak within 2 days.
Yeah.
Tapi untuk kalian yang warga negara Indonesia, kalian bisa balik, but you have to quarantine at home, I think.
Yes, I think that's,
kalau warga negara luar, kalian harus quarantine in a hotel. Or there's a designated quarantine place from Indonesia. Tapi kalau hotel katanya kalian harus bayar sendiri, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Dan itu swab testnya perlu bayar nggak?
Swab test you have to pay. I'm not sure. Kata gue sih semua swab test di Indo kayaknya harus bayar. For sure.
Yeah.
Dan kalau misalnya yang swab test sebelum mereka terbang, ya mereka harus bayar sendiri karena mereka definitely not in Indonesia, right? Kayak mereka di different country, whichever you are. Tapi katanya kalau misalnya kalian, jadi kalau nggak salah 5 hari di hotel. But for some reason in here it says that for foreign nationals and Indonesian nationals who are declared healthy, you have to, or they are recommending that you self-isolate for 14 days. Yeah, but again, it's Indo, it's a bit hard.
Yeah.
Like, jujur aja sih, ya, like I said before sih in one of the episode kan, gue jujur aja rada sedih gitu, maksudnya kayak kan Indo you have to swab kalau lu mau terbang.
Yeah.
Tapi you don't have to swab kalau misalnya lu pakai mobil.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a bit, like
True.
You're still crossing the borders.
Yeah.
You still don't know if you get it or not. Cuman ya katanya gitu. And I think they do kalian yang gue tahu sih ya emang kalian fokus juga sama mask and social distancing, like they still stand like apart.
Yeah.
I can see that all the like music video and all the di TV gitu-gitunya mereka semua pada pakai face shield.
Yeah.
So and mask as well. So I think that has helped.
Yeah.
But do you know how many people is currently in Indo, the active cases and stuff?
as of the 13th of January,
Mm-hmm.
11,278
New cases.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
New cases only ya.
Mm.
Tanggal 13. 11.278. Which is like, I mean, it's both jarring but also like, I don't know. I on one hand I'm not surprised by it, knowing it's Indo, but at the same time it's also like, that's a huge number, because if you compare that with Perth, right? Like we've just been so fortunate to be in Perth, where like I feel that a lot of us are kind of like ignorant to what is truly happening in the real global scenario outside. And even like when I started work again this week, one of the takeaway messages was like, you have to remember that 2020 is like, yes, it's the past, but you can't also associate coronavirus as the past.
Yeah.
Along with 2020, because it's still going kind of thing.
Yeah, benar.
My friend was like sharing a meme that's like, okay, we started work on the 11th, so it's not the 11th of January, it's the 41st of December.
Yeah.
2020. But yeah, it's an interesting scenario, right? And I think in terms of Indo, like on the 13th as well, I heard the news about Jokowi having the first ever vaccination in Indo. And he got, he was the first one, and he was like, pokoknya banyak promosi lah bahwa vaksinnya kan aman dan halal juga kan, because I think on one hand the vaccination Jokowi got is, I believe the brand is called Sinovac, which is the Chinese made COVID vaccine that, as far as I know, has had a lot of speculation that it's only like 50% effective. But I think also in general, like I'd be keen to have a chat quickly with you, and get your perspective on this whole vaccine thing.
Yeah.
Because there has been so much, I guess, misinformation, but also fake news, but also I think just essentially like hesitation from a lot of people that it's slowly becoming like maybe fake news, or it's slowly like maybe it is true, maybe it's also not true. There's a huge debate, and there's also so many different types of vaccinations coming out with different side effects and different ways that it works, that kind of thing. Because I know that like nyokap gua, through all of her WhatsApp message chains, are like, jangan take the vaccine because it will alter your DNA. It will affect your pregnancy in the future, pregnancy rate, fertility in the future. And it's funny because I was watching a news segment here in Australia that they surveyed public feedback on the vaccine, and it's majority sort of like women in their like 20s to 30s, so like women who probably haven't had their first child yet, or are thinking of still having kids, are the biggest age group that are most hesitant about the vaccine.
I see.
That and I think like seniors or something. But seniors, I think, it's more so like they understand that the vaccine is mainly like for them because they're the most at risk, but they're also probably worried about the side effects that could come into play.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just really interesting because obviously the Indonesian one, mereka udah beli kayak, like that Chinese made virus, and that's the Chinese made vaccination, and that's gonna be rolling out to like, I don't know, like 180 million people a year, I think, or even higher. Yeah, and on like as of last Monday, I think Indo became the first country outside of China to approve the corona vaccine, which was basically developed by the laboratory in Beijing. So it's just an interesting scenario because gue sih banyakan ikutinnya berita Aussie, and then Aussie kan banyakan kan kayak talking about like the American brands like Pfizer, Moderna, and all the others, and then also the Australian specifically. We've been working with University of Oxford for a couple of vaccine trials as well, and I've never been kept up to date as much with the Sinovac and also the Chinese vaccines. That's a pretty interesting take, and I'd be keen to hear from our listeners, perspective kalian kayak gimana, kayak what do you feel about it? How did you react to Jokowi getting the jab? Did you watch the video? Because the video is actually quite cute. Lumayan lucu si Pak Pak Presiden. Yeah, so like let us know what you guys think of it, and will you even take it yourself if you have to, you know? Because I remember si Jokowi bilang, you know, this vaccine is important for us to break the chain of coronavirus transmission, and obviously, you know, to protect all Indonesians. So yeah, will you take it if you have to? And I think in terms of Aussie, like there's so many different brands. Like you've got the AstraZeneca, which is the University of Oxford. You've got Novavax. You've got Pfizer. You've got Covax. That's just the 4 main agreements. I think that's what they call. But Australia also, like the government are like having other like investment agreements with other smaller companies. And as far as I know, like there's just so many different like quirks and side effects for each one. Like as far as I know, the Pfizer one, vaccinia has to be stored minus 70 degrees Celsius.
Oh, wow.
So like how will that, like that's gonna make it complicated when you like transport it, right? Like how can you maintain that sub-zero temperatures? And then if it's like, if it gets warmer, will it affect the vaccine? Will it like affect it when it goes to our bloodstream gitu kan? Whereas the Moderna one is like minus 20 degrees, so that's better. But still, like, you know, it's kind of like some of them rely on like our like mRNA technology, which also needs like really, really cold storage conditions. And there's just a whole lot of still like trial and error, right? Like I think the last vaccine that was properly developed took 4 years. Of clinical trials to properly get it right, and yet now we've seen a lot of countries being pressured to roll it out ASAP, like you know Boris Johnson in the UK and so on. And then I think in terms of like the Australian public's view on it is they just want to see it play out in other countries first to just make sure that all side effects are identified before they're having to have it
themselves,
here. What do you think about it?
Gue half sih jujur, karena maksudnya kayak scary jujur aja, kayak ini hal yang bukan sangat menakutkan justru karena maksudnya gini ya, semua vaksin itu literally basically is a modified version of the virus, bener gak? Karena kita butuh virusnya tersendiri untuk bisa modified untuk ngelawan virusnya itu sendiri gitu. Dan itu sama untuk vaksin segala macam yang kalian udah pernah pakai gitu. Maksudnya kayak flu vaccine, you know, like Hep B, Hep C when you were a kid and stuff like that. It's basically the modified version of the virus. That's what I know vaccine is gitu. Tapi ya jujur aja sih menurut gue setuju sih sama Australian in general gitu. Maksudnya gue pro vaksin ini dibikin atau di-invest atau di-research. I will support that, you know, people need to make the vaccine a thing gitu. Tapi will I take it? I don't think I will, because there's a certain factors to it, right? So for me personally, I think it's because of the age. Like I don't need I mean I am in a low risk age to that, you know, when in a COVID scenario, I'm in a low risk range because our antibody can still fight it in a sense. But also my situation, like I'm in my environment is in Australia, in Perth, where there's no cases. So why do I want to add a risk of putting something that I don't know yet to my body when I don't even have the risk in the first place of the COVID itself, right? But this is coming from like a first world type of situation gitu. Maksudnya kayak ini coming dari guanya yang I am grateful and I am blessed to be able to be in Perth gitu, dimana di posisi dimana vaksin is not a question gitu. Tapi susah sih, maksud gue kayak ya menurut gue kita mendingan lockdown, soalnya kenapa, karena ya at the same time jujur aja sih, like I'm genuinely proud and genuinely, you know, support that the orang-orang Aussie sekarang, atau misalnya kayak especially orang-orang Perth gitu ya, mereka nurut semua gitu. Maksudnya kayak ketika government bilang semua harus pakai FCWA, all the businesses and all the company actually use it gitu loh. Dan juga literally kalau misalnya kita nggak scan, kita nggak akan di-serve gitu, dan kita ngerti gitu kenapa ini important gitu. Jadi kita nggak yang ya unfortunately kalau other country, as you know where, mereka kayak pakai mask aja nggak mau pakai masih berdebat gitu. Maksudnya buat apa, like why do you do that for gitu loh. Literally it's a disease, a pandemic that have affected so many people gitu. Kenapa kita harus masih bandel atau misalnya kita masih harus kekeh dengan pikiran kita sendiri gitu. And even on lockdown, I remember like my friend in Melbourne and stuff like that, the moment like the lockdown is tomorrow, they were running to go to their house, like they were in a sense like emang true, like it is what it is gitu loh. Maksudnya kalau misalnya emang harus lockdown ya mereka nurut gitu. Mereka I know it could be hard. I mean we have worked from home before. It has been like and by all means kita nggak bisa ngerasain apa yang kalian rasain dan gitu genuinely kita ngerti gitu, maksudnya karena kita nggak pernah lockdown fully, tapi at the same time it's for the greater good gitu. Karena misalnya kalau misalnya kemarin I just feel like kalau misalnya kemarin the state still block their thing or the state still put the hard borders on and stuff like that, maybe the COVID cases will not be as much as today, because there's no transfer, there's no people traveling from one place to another gitu loh. Dan kata gue jujur ya emang paling best, I think the best approach is the borders, like to block and lock down maybe is the best option. But I understand kayak di Indo mungkin nggak bisa kita untuk lockdown karena situasi ekonomi ataupun orangnya terlalu banyak dan nggak semua punya fasilitas untuk bisa lockdown, dan I understandable. Tapi maksudnya ya mungkin that's why vaksin is the best way for Indo gitu. Walaupun 50% punya 50% punya success rate, like maybe it's still better than no chance of success rate, you know what I mean. Tapi kalau misalnya ya kalau gua tinggal di Indo sekarang gitu ya, maybe gua sih milih untuk nggak vaksin, tapi gua tinggal di rumah. Jadi di rumah aja. Jadi kita nggak bisa ngomong kayak enggak, gua nggak mau vaksin tapi gue keluar rumah, itu kita salah gitu. You have to choose either one gitu kan. Dan menurut gue ya kalau gue pribadi sih gitu, gue bakal nggak vaksin tapi gue tinggal di rumah dan gue lihat aja situasi kondisi gitu. Tapi ya susah sih kalau misalnya di Indo lebih ke bisnis, lebih ke influencer, semua kalian harus ketemu orang segala macam gitu. Like I guess just do the best that you can gitu, karena there's no way sih, like it's so hard. Tapi maksud gue jujur gue udah salut gitu loh sama government Indonesia. Maksudnya kali ini they really try their best gitu loh. Kayak maksudnya kalian komplain ini udah diizinin belum sama government. They already access it and it was like confirmed. Terus kalian komplain tentang halal nggak halal. They already said that it is halal. Terus kalian komplain lagi tentang ini harus bayar apa enggak. They already make it free for you, like they already tried their best to make it so accessible for you. Why don't you do it? Or at least think about it, like at least consider it. Karena it's for your own good gitu, like
and it's just for your own good, right? It's for the greater good gitu kan. Jadi kayak walaupun lu sendiri emang gak mau pakai masker, gak mau apa dan auban banget gitu kan, you gotta think of the greater society, right? Like what like you going out and risking it might not just affect yourself, it will affect a lot of people around you, your friends and whoever else you meet along in the way gitu kan. But you're right though, like different country kan beda environment, beda scenario, beda situasi, and obviously the reception of it is different gitu. So I think it's like just ultimately, as always, like better to prevent than finding a cure.
That's true.
So kalau bisa, stay home, respect social distancing. Like even here in Perth, when we don't have a lot of cases happening in the public, it's all very much controlled and well looked after. We are still doing what we can to take safe measures by social distancing, and everyone's been able to sometimes we forget to scan on the app, but usually the staff member or whoever is in working in that building will let you know, and then we're fine. Like okay, we'll definitely cooperate and respect that. Yes, it's it's annoying maybe to just open your phone every time, but you have to do what you got to do to make sure that everything is all recorded and safe. Because it's for the whole environment, it's for the whole community, it's not just yourself. So
and I think between friends juga kita selalu ngikutin satu sama lain sih. Maksudnya kayak teman gue yang the moment the news came in about the Brisbane situation, kayak mereka harus quarantine, literally our group chat is just full and asking all the people that we know just went to Brisbane like hey, do you need to quarantine, hey, when did you come to Perth, and so ada gitu. Kayak news yang orang satu yang baca aja itu langsung semuanya disebarkan dan lebih ke langsung teman gue literally langsung work from home that day, like she went home from work straight away. Karena that's how important it is gitu loh, maksudnya kita respect each other juga gitu. Kalau misalnya kita yang salah, kita yang sakit, dan jangan masuk ke tempat kerja gitu. Why do you wanna put other people at risk gitu kan? Jadi gimana ya, maksudnya kayak kita ngerti it has been a really really long year. It has been like 9 months, no even more gitu kan, kayak everyone is so tired with this COVID already and stuff like that, but at the same time if we don't take the hardcore measures, I don't think it will get
exactly solved. Look, I think, and I think this is all the updates we have as of right now, like there's just so much that we can obviously talk about further, but I think in a snapshot that's been what's happening both in the Australian and the Indonesian front. Please let us know what you guys think of the current situation. Like we're facing it, it's such strange times, like we don't know what to expect in the future. All that we can ask is obviously do what you can to take safety precautions, follow the rules provided by the government, and make sure that informasi yang kalian baca dan kalian dengar itu from trusted sources. Because the biggest issue that I'm seeing at the moment is fake news, misinformation, and that spreads like wildfire a lot faster than the actual berita yang benar dan fakta-fakta yang benar. Karena gue juga pernah dikasih banyak warning di IG gitu, teman gue bilang, oh kalau kalian dapat message ini dari WA lu tentang this guy who's dying of coronavirus and basically needs money gitu, like itu cuma mancing, like it's just fake, it's like a fake sort of phishing sort of like kind of situation. So it's like be careful that because people will take this strange time as a way to take advantage of others, which is not great, but just got to be wary that not all info out there may be 100% correct or factually supported by genuine means. So just stay safe, guys, take care,
be wise, I guess.
Exactly, like just take care of yourself and take care of others, and what you do to stay safe will also help others stay safe.
Kayak kalau misalnya kalian bisa sampai segitunya untuk kayak Google your favorite K-pop band or your favorite actor and actress, kalau misalnya kalian dapat news dari mereka atau favorite branded stuff and stuff like that, you guys can Google it sampai cari harga yang the best, sampai cari diskon segala macam. I think you can do the same with news, like with the COVID-19 news, and educate yourself, educate your friends nearby, educate your parents. They might we know Asian parents, they might be too concerned and about the news that's traveling through WhatsApp gitu. But we can be the one that help them understand and and help them
sort out which one is actually true and which one is just like hype. And
even like this is, I'm not just talking about like internet news, like even like news in TV and stuff like that, they might be embellished in some way. So just pay attention and make sure that your source is correct and check with multiple sources. If if gazillion sources have said COVID-19 is here, then COVID-19 is here. But if it's only like one or two here and there saying that they kill people right away if you take the vaccine, then it might not be that might not be the case. You know what I mean? Like why would they even let human test it if it's not suitable? Because they also know, like they have to conduct, they have their own ethics, code of conduct, in a sense, code of ethics, that they would not harm any other human in order for medical reasons. But the world is a scary place. We don't even know. Just be wise, take care of yourself, take care of your friends. This is our COVID update, I guess. We'll see if there's anything new coming up in maybe a few months or so. If there's any new, quarantine experience, or if there's any new lockdown vaccine, or if they found out a new other way to solve this situation, we'll update you guys and update ourselves. We're just gonna keep it as a recording, and also we'll see how it goes. But our wish and our hope and our pray every day is just for this to end. We can go back to our normal life. We can travel to places. We can meet our friends. We can meet our family again, give them a hug, and we can eat our favorite food, go back to Indo. all those things that we take for granted.
Yeah.
We shouldn't take it for granted anymore. But
Definitely.
hope you enjoyed the episode.
See you for the next
see
COVID update, maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe not, who knows.
Bye.
Alright, see you guys.
Thank you for listening. Jangan lupa like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with your friends.
I'd love to hear from you. Please reach out with your comments, stories, and even questions on what we should talk about. See you in the next episode.
Bye. Dah.